so much, everyone. It's so incredible to see people here. Hello to everyone in the sanctuary, and hello to everyone still viewing us from out there in TV land, I call it. So glad you're here with us for this wonderful tribute to Dr. Heather all the way through the service today. So that was one of her favorite composers, Andrew Lloyd Webber. That was All I Ask of You from Phantom. And this next song is, I know, another one of her favorites, so get your Kleenex ready. It's from the musical Wicked, and it's For Good, and it's being performed for you today by Karen Allen and Chelsea Van.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I've learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a sea driven by a skyberg in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet, like a pillow, as it passes by a wind off the like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
So beautiful. Our Our next song we have done a few times throughout the years during our services. It's a great song written by Carly Simon from the movie Working Girl called Let the River Run, and we have our whole group up here. So we've got Kimberly Woldridge, Wade Woldridge, Karen Allen, Rick Dale, Chelsea Mann, and Jimmy Mann, plus our whole wonderful band here. So Heather, here's another one for you.
We're coming to the edge, running on the water, coming through the fog, your sons and daughters. Let the river run, let all the dreamers wake the nation, roll on the New Jerusalem.
Beginning to an incredible service this morning, and I'm not going to get emotional. Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living's Capistrano Valley in beautiful San Clemente. I can't tell you what it means to see you all out here today. It's been a year. It's just wonderful to see you all, and wonderful to see you all in cyberspace, and welcome to our wonderful, spectacular service this morning. We're going to start our service like we start every Sunday, with the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all faiths, all people, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence that we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the path, universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and the practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candles for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and the path of peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Rick Dale lights the last candle, please represent the path that brought you here this morning. Let us pray. We go within to that place of quiet, that place of perfect understanding, that place of unconditional love, knowing that this time together is sacred and precious. For we know there truly is only one truth, and that truth is that there is only one divine essence, and this is God, Spirit, universal presence. Whatever name you want to put on it, it's fine. God knows. God knows. This essence, this energy, this power is everywhere present at all times. Therefore, it is right here, right now, fully present in each one of us in this very room and wherever we are. It is the first cause to all of creation. It is lavish abundance, and it is unconditional love. It is that love that you feel within you this moment, expanding and growing and expressing and revealing as the love of God. So I know that each one of us is a sacred activity of this energy. We are the beloved. We are the joy. We are the kindness. We are the compassion. We are the essence of the divine. And so I affirm and I decree that all is well, that each one of us is here in this moment of now on purpose. We're awake, we are aware, and we are alive. And we are open to listen this morning to this beautiful service by Dr. Heather. We listen with our spiritual ears, we listen with our whole being, and we listen with an open heart and an open mind, knowing that we glean the wisdom that comes from her this morning. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. And so we say thank you. Thank you for this time together. Thank you for this wonderful teaching. Thank you for this absolutely incredible center and for our beloved Dr. Heather Dawn Clark. And so I fill my heart with thanksgiving for this time together, for everything that is God's joy. So I release, I let go, and I anchor this prayer in love as we say together, and so it is. And now let's read our affirmation together. Knowing God is love as me, I stop the war within myself. Let's read it again. Let's say it again. Knowing God is love as me, I stop the war within myself, and so it is. And now our declaration of principles. I believe in God, the one creative intelligence operating through the universe and operating throughout my entire being, now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates upon a law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe this perfect creative intelligence can be used by me and by every other person to produce health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Judy.
This is our meditation. How great it is to see you all. This is our meditation time, and Reverend Karen asked me what I would like, and this is one of Alan Dale's songs, and I love this. It, to me, is what we're all about, in the circle. So we'll sing it a couple of times, 3 times, I think, or so, and then I will guide you in a very short meditation, at the end of which you'll hear the strike of the bell 3 times. The circle is one of the oldest symbols for God. In the circle, I will stay. Allow that idea to permeate your whole being. I belong here. I belong in the circle of love. I belong in the circle of life. And whichever idea most resonates with you this morning, belonging in the circle, belonging in the circle of life, belonging in the circle of love, belonging in the circle of community, of friends, just silently repeat that to yourself. I belong in the circle. And let that just resonate until there's a deep inner feeling of commitment to being who you are, where you are. Gently bring yourself back to the present moment, the present, where you are, be where your feet are, and we'll welcome Allendale and friends.
Yes. As our beautiful singers are getting to place up here on stage, this next song is based on a traditional hymn, which I know you all know, so if you want to hum behind your mask when the tune comes into your head, you're welcome to do that. Our soloists at the beginning are going to be Jimmy and Chelsea Van, and then the whole ensemble will be doing this beautiful mix-up of Amazing Grace and Grace. So, you guys ready?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul.
to Jimmy and Chelsea and Rick and Karen and Wade and Kimberly. Wow. These are our musicians that have been in a bubble with us. Pardon me, I didn't want to do that. It's a little easier when I don't have that face shield on. I'm so happy to see you all. Wow. Wow. Very moving. And I've been in tears a lot, listening to the music and listening to the rehearsal of the music. I can't get there. Pam Rock, I know you're working, so Pam Rock often says she's in denial about my leaving. Well, I'm in denial about my leaving. That when Karen sang that lyric, that I may not see you again, that's just like, oh my God, I may not see them again. It's just retirement. It's not death. It's just retirement. And it's good because it's good for everybody. So this is part 3 of what I know for sure. And so I'm going to really talk about me and about my life and what inspires me and how I get my inspiration. You know, like many of you, where I get my inspiration is in the shower. All of a sudden an idea will pop in, like, where did that come from? Or on my walks, where did that come from? And as Ellen Cohen says, who arranges these things? Because it does seem, it seems impossible how everything is all connected, but yet that is the nature of life. We know that we're not these things that we're so fond of. We're not our human bodies. We are spirit. We are spiritual beings. So that means that we are greater than whatever we could accomplish physically in the human realm. We're greater. We're transcendent to that. And yet this vehicle is so important because through it we get to feel, we get to love, we get to connect, we get to cry, we get to share. And so I'm not saying that the vehicle isn't important. The body is. This too is an expression of the divine. That all of it is God's expression of itself. So one of the thoughts that came to me this morning in the shower was Desperado. And of course that's an Eagles song that way back when Peter Hurst was our music director, and the band probably remembers, there was a time when Tom Burns was singing, so it might have been Palm Sunday. And what the band played was Desperado. They played Desperado, the Eagles. And I got up and I said, thanks, the Eagles. And Judy Powell, who was our music director, thought I said, it's just Eagle. Because she didn't know that it was the Eagles. She didn't know Eagles from, she's an opera trained singer. And it wasn't her era, it was definitely my era. And so what does Desperado have to do with me in this day and each one of us? And I think, you know, that whole song is about letting yourself be loved. You need to put down the fences and let somebody love you before it's too late. So I want to say for all of us today, that's a life lesson. Let yourself be loved. So that was my prayer request this morning, was to be open and receptive to the love, because those songs, oh my goodness, and there are more coming. And it is so much love in expression. It's just, it would be so easy for me to do what I normally do. I go to someplace spiritual, which just means I'm in that realm rather than being in this, connected in this realm. And for this day, I want to be in this realm too. I wanted a both and experience. And so I wanted to feel your love. I wanted to feel this connection. I wanted to feel the lyrics of the songs, which so far I've been able to. So I want to be able to model for you something I haven't, I was married when I first came here 22 years ago, and that only lasted a year. It lasted a few years before we got here, but it only lasted a year. And since then, I really relate to Desperado. I've been doing it as much as I can by myself, and yet I have a team. And the team is amazing. The team is amazing. So what I know is the team is really what's holding people together until you all get your new minister. So I wanted to talk to you about that, about me coming in the first place, and about what happens when you really devote your life to listening to Spirit, and sometimes you want to, is there anyone else in there? Any other messages for me besides that one? I don't like that one, but anyway, way back, I came to the Bonita Center in 1993, and it was a really lovely spot, a nice community, lovely people, and we had a very charming place to meet. And I was happy there, but I was longing for something more. And there was something that kept saying, there's more, there's more. And so I would be praying about us expanding the Bonita Center. And then I got the idea I'm supposed to move to a bigger center. And I'm telling you this story for a couple of reasons, because sometimes when you think, that's it, I now have the answer, you don't have the answer. The first thing is often not in my experience, the first thing was not the thing. So the Calvary Church, the church I came from as the only staff minister, it was a big church, and I'd been the interim minister there for 4 months while we were waiting for our senior minister to come, and she was now she was leaving. And so Calvary was candidating, which is a process that you are going through right now. And I went, oh, I guess that's it. And so I got all my stuff together and sent the resume and the things, and I was chosen as one of the people. But get this, there wasn't a real knowing inside me. There was more like, okay, well, I guess I'm ready to come back. It was more a willingness, but not a real, this is it. And so we went through the whole candidating process, and there were 5 of us. I was the middle one. My husband, who had been in HR, said that's the worst spot, but if you're really good, they'll remember you. For everyone to remember 5 people to the end and to the Sunday after the 5th person was not really possible. But they were really working hard as a board to make sure everybody got everything. So they videoed every one of us at all of our workshops. And when I got to, because my family lives in Calgary, we went to Calgary 2 weeks after they'd already chosen another minister, so I'll get to that in a minute. The video guy came up to me, saw me in the audience, and took me aside, and he said, Reverend Heather, pretty sure it was Reverend then, Reverend Heather, I'm so sorry. That's never happened to me in 20 years that I've been doing videography. Your video was the only one that didn't turn out at all. Do you think Spirit might have had something to do with that? There was not one thing on it. A professional videographer. So I was spiritually upset. That's this. I was spiritually upset, and I was like, how I was stamping my feet at God. How could this happen to me? Because I had got my direction from God. Now what is happening? And so I did what I teach you to do. I got quiet, I got still. I did 2 silent retreats in a row. And I came back and I was peaceful. I was no longer mad at God. I was curious. I was open. And I looked at this big stack of mail on my desk, and I noticed that the very top letter was from the Church of Religious Science in Capistrano Valley, Church of Religious Science, and it was Dr. Jackie announcing her retirement. She sent it out to everyone on her news list, which included lots of her colleagues. I was one of Jackie's friends. We worked at the Board of Education together for Centers for Religious Science International. So I called her and I said, "What's happening? I just read your letter, you're leaving. Have they chosen a new minister?" She said, "Well, they're in process. They're going to," I said, "Are they candidating?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Really? I'd be really interested." Well, she said, "The close is tomorrow, so if you can get all of your things in today." And of course, so I did. But I knew, when I read that letter, I knew it. I knew that this would be my new home. And that was before I'd met you. That was just from a knowingness within me that Spirit has been urging me to a bigger place. It just wasn't that northern place that I thought I was going to go to. It was this northern place. North of San Diego, but not north to Canada. So, and yet it has definitely been my right place. I've grown here. I've grown ministers here, practitioners here. I've grown in love and light here. And I just want to say, I'm so pleased that you 3 are sort of close together. We have 3 new practitioners in training, and they're taking their 2nd year of practitioner training in the East with Reverend Trish Hall. And they're here this morning, and I thought, oh, well, I hope I can introduce people. So would you 3 stand up? So this is Paula Manis, Mary Casa, and Jody Charton are going to be our 3 new practitioners. You get to see them, even though, and we don't really know how that will all work, but I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful that you're here this morning. So thank you. It was a pleasure to work with you. You know, in practitioner training, you really get to know each other really, really well. And little did I know that when I said, no, I can't do the 2nd year, that I wouldn't even be here for the end of your 2nd year. So right action is taking place again all the time. When I got to our center, we had quite a good amount of savings, I think it was about $500,000, which and we had many people coming, but that money was for our new church. There was a vision that had been percolating for years, that eventually the center would buy its own building, because we had a charming place. It was charming because of the people who decorated it. It wasn't charming necessarily on itself. Right beside the railroad tracks, I would have to stop when the train went by and let the whistle go. But it was our place. It was wonderful. And the energy in it was fantastic because of you guys. But we knew that we were going to use that money for our new home. And then the first thing that happened was our landlord said, there are 2 suites available right adjacent to your building. Do you think you'd want them? And of course, way back then, our children were meeting in sort of a closet. I mean, there was no room at all for them. So we said, sure, we could afford that. And the tenant improvements cost $109,000. So now, it sounds like, how on earth are we ever going to grow this nest egg so that we can have our home of our own? That was in 93, maybe it was the end of 93, that we got that second space. And our youth church then all moved over there, and what a wonderful spacious place we had for youth. And because we had that, Reverend Patty could do things like the whole kids, the summer program where we had 30 kids and would take them places in San Juan. And it was because we had a bigger space that we could do it in. And still, we wanted to own our own. It was still in our back of our mind. So I think way back then, but I have some people here that were on that committee, we started visioning for our own home. Might have been that year, but it was at least, maybe it was 2001. Dina, do you remember? No. Grant, do you remember? Yeah, we were forever. We were forever visioning. And then finally, a piece of land came available in San Juan, and one of our members is an architect, so he scoped out how we could take this sloping little piece of land and make a building on it and a parking lot, and then we had everyone go and look at it, and that piece of land was $1 million. And we had $750,000. So realistically, we looked at it and said, we can't really buy this because we won't have any money to do the improvements. We'll have a piece of land in San Juan, but that's all. So that very next day or week, we had our annual meeting. And I said to the congregation, well, we won't be buying that piece of land for obvious reasons. We don't have enough money saved, so we're going to get saving. And that's that. So get saving, get ready for a long haul, because we need at least double what we have in order to proceed forward. Monday, I come to work, and Diane, who was our secretary, Diane Hesse was our secretary, had put out the mail on my desk. At the very top, there was something, because she wanted me to see it. Church for sale, San Clemente. It was this building. It was this building. Church for sale. And so I just eat crow, because I just told you we wouldn't be buying anything right away. But I thought, well, like, we could at least go look. So several of us, including Karen and Diane and I, drove over to see what we thought about it from the outside. Because, of course, there was a church in here. We couldn't come in, but we came over just to take a look. And it felt like, gosh, this might work. This might work. And many of you have been around since then. And what some of you, if you weren't at the annual meeting, you won't know this. We were feeling a little stressed by the amount of the mortgage that we had to pay every month, because our mortgage payment was $11,000. We did some work and got it reduced to $8,000, which still sounds like, gosh, that's still a lot of money, but look at the space, and we have a whole big business upstairs. So it was a really good saving. The board did a wonderful job of doing that. And in the meantime, before the pandemic, we had thought, gosh, maybe we needed to sell this place and move. And you know, we had that sign out there for, I think, a year. We didn't have anything really that we could accept that would have made sense. So, part of a spiritual journey is being able to tell the truth. That didn't work after all. Or I guess I was wrong. I've said that one I guess a lot of times. I guess I was wrong about that. And that brings me to something I think is really important, what I know for sure. What's really important, we have 2 of these, 2 ears and 1 mouth. Do we talk more than we listen, or do we listen more than we talk? Listening is a really important aspect of life. So therefore, it's a spiritual aspect. It's a really important thing to be able to listen to one another. And I was listening to a podcast recently about this, and the person who was the expert on the podcast said, all of the experts have it wrong. Everything you've been talked about listening is wrong. So all the people that have taken practitioner training from me, whatever I taught you wasn't complete. It wasn't that it was wrong, but it wasn't complete. There was more. And in the podcast, the woman gave an example, and I want to share that example because it's powerful. There's an African-American woman who's known, she's done a huge amount of things. She lives in Atlanta. Her name is Zermona Clayton. And she's been around for as long as I have, I think, because she was around in the 60s. She was part of the civil rights movement. She was friends with Mrs. King and was part of in that church. And she was very passionate about equal rights, but she was also passionate about love and about not hammering people over the head, but working together as love. So in Atlanta in 1967, they had something called Building Cities. They had 5 different groups of people that were working on these things. And this, Mrs. Clayton was asked to lead one of these groups. And her boss came in and said, by the way, one of the groups will have the head of the Ku Klux Klan in the group, and I'm not telling you who he is. And of course, because of the robes, no one knew what he looked like, but he's going to be in, is that okay with you? And Mrs. Clayton said, we have a job to do. I can work with anyone. Well, it's happened that this guy, whose name, wait, do you know? Only because you know everything, Wade. So I just a minute. His Kevin, it'll come to me. No. This was 1967, and he was the Grand Wizard, and she didn't know that, but she knew his name, and he would come after they were done their work. He would stop at her desk and have a conversation with her. And most of the conversation would be about how African Americans don't have the intelligence to do this, you know, his beliefs about how they should be segregated and not integrated. And she would just talk with him. And she would ask him questions about his beliefs and then she would say what she believed. And then he would ask her questions, and they would have conversations every day. And then he started coming in 2 or 3 times a week just to talk with her, just to talk with her. And she said she kind of knew because how he shook her hand, it was like he shook only the fingers of her hand. So she knew that this wasn't But they were having a relationship. They were getting to know each other. And then one day he said, you know, I won't be in next week. I've got something that I need to do. And she said, okay, well, I'll see you the following week. And it turns out he said, I'm leaving the Ku Klux Klan. I'm leaving the Ku Klux Klan because Vermona Clayton is a wonderful person. And she is an African American. And we should not be doing what we're doing. This has been completely wrong. He'd been part of that. He'd been in the Klan for years. But her conversations with him, her loving, passionate conversations with him, got him to change his mind and to renounce the Klan altogether. Now, fast forward 43 years later, she got a call from one of his adult children who had been a child when all of this was going on in the 60s. And this woman asked if she could meet Vermona, Zermona, I should say. And she said, of course, I'd love to meet with you. And the woman said to her, you know, you saved our family. Because my dad changed after he left the Klan. He became kinder. He became more interactive with us. And her older brother, who was 12 years older than her, had been dressed in wizard robes right from the time he was born. But it missed her. You saved our family because you're willing to listen, because you're willing to be in conversation. So that is what I know for sure. I know that we're at heart good people. All of us are good. We're good Americans, we're good Canadians, we're good Australians, we're good New Zealanders. Sorry, Grant, I just called you Australian. We're good Irishmen. We're good people. But sometimes we don't talk with each other because we make assumptions. And those assumptions are usually based on fear. And fear cannot exist where love is. Fear cannot exist where love is. So today, remember who you are. You are love. You're made in the image and likeness of love. Your business here is to love one another. Your business here is to be with one another in love and conversation, in community. And it isn't about changing your mind about something or changing someone else's mind about anything. It's about seeing through to the truth about people. That the God within is absolutely beautiful, whole, complete, beautiful beings. Two ears, listen more. This speaker said, you know, listening isn't for the other person. You don't listen better for the other person. You listen better for you because you gain so much when you listen. Because you gain so much when you listen. It's so true. What I know in the science of mind, we believe that we're enough and that there is enough right now. That each one of us is co-creating, is creating our lives according to consciousness. Who knew that we needed a pandemic? Who knew that? I didn't. God did, but God is in me. And God has me, didn't know it. God knew it. The greater. I've been prayer partners with Aiden many times, and Aiden in his prayers often says, this thing he'll describe in first step what spirit is, and he said, and this power is greater than I am. And Ernest Holmes said that too. There's a power for good greater than I am, and I can use it, and it is using me. Dr. Ken always liked to remind us, it is using us. It is in us, through us, as us, and for us. So this is a very exciting day. Last time you hear me in this role, and that means you need to be willing to walk without knowing, kind of mask with the other masks on, kind of walk forward without knowing for certain what your end result will be. But will it be good? Will it be a good result? Will you love the minister? Of course you will. Why? Because you're you. Will it be a wonderful minister that has so much to share with you and so much to give you and so much education that they have? Of course, because it's you. We're always attracting ourselves. And that minister will know that he or she is yours, just as you will know that that's the one for us. Trust the process. What I want you to do is, back to the Desperado. If you've got some fences up, some defenses up, learn to put them down. Live defenselessly. Live defenseless, without defenses. If there's only love, there is nothing and no one that can harm you, that can hurt you, that can do anything but be your reflection. Everybody, all you glorious beings, are God's reflection of itself. How good is that? It is very good. It is very good. Okay. Those were the main things I wanted to share with you. I wanted to share with you our journey together. I wanted to share with you my beginning because of the indecisiveness. I wanted to share with you, but it wasn't indecisive when I first got the call. I knew right from the very beginning, and the call took me to class, not the other way around. The call took me to class. Oh, now I need to be a minister. I guess I need to study. And so that's the way I did it, which is completely backwards. I don't recommend it. But it was my journey. And of course, you can't step in the same river twice. So it isn't your journey, or probably isn't your journey. Your journey is whatever it is, and it's perfect for you. So what I know is that it's very tempting to be that outlaw that no one can love. It's very tempting because you feel so safe, but you're not safe. You're not safe at all. You're not in the least bit safe if you've got all these borders around you, if you're defending yourself because you haven't let God in. So be willing. I know that we're being prudent and careful. We are aware that we've been in a pandemic, a global pandemic, for almost a year. Well, the globe has been in it for a year. And I do believe that we're the ones to make a difference. I do believe that. And where does this happen? It happens there, in your hearts. It happens in your hearts. It happens in your minds. It happens in your words, in your conversations. I know that Marlene texted me early this morning and let us know that Ann Wheeler had passed away. And Ann Wheeler was she was the head of our teen group way back when I came in 1993, and before that for several years. so we honor her commitment to youth, and I believe she is Reverend Brian Akers' grandma. So we know that that consciousness continues in a different person, and Lee, our board president, is fond of telling me that I've trained these ministers so well. Believe me, Lee, it isn't anything I've done that produced these wonderful ministers. They're already wonderful ministers. The same with the practitioners. They're already wonderful practitioners because they know who they are and they know what their relationship is with Source. And we're very blessed by all of them. And we do have wonderful ministers. And you are in good hands. When I visited the little church that I grew up in one of my trips to Canada in the summer, we formed a little choir because we'd all been in the choir, and we sang together a song, a Christian song that we used to sing, which is, "God be with you till we meet again." And honestly, my sister and I were singing together in the alto section, and it was the most moving thing to see these people that I probably won't see again in this lifetime, and know that from my point of view, God is always with you till we meet again. I will see you Friday, and so it is. Thank you, and I receive your love. We're going to pray together. In this holy moment of right now, I lift up my eyes, I lift up my consciousness into the awareness that there is only one. And that one is all power, is all knowing, is everywhere present, is that creative thing that is forever creating out of itself, is forever becoming new by rebuilding the body, through a new idea. It's forever new, forever growing, expanding, living. And I know that this one that is forever new is ageless and deathless, timeless. And yet, I'm its expression. I am one with it. And from the conscious awareness that I am one with it, I speak my word for each one of us in the first person. This is what I know for sure. I know that God in me, as me, is me, and it's good and very good and only good. I know that my health is God's health, which is vitality, energy, aliveness, youthfulness, vim, vigor. It is perfect health. God's life in me is ageless. God's life in me is timeless. God's life in me is that perfect health that is irresistible. And what I know is that I am the love that God is, and that love is also irresistible. All of my friends, all of my family are in my life because God in me is irresistible love, is truth, is peace and power. I am that I am. I speak this word for prosperity, for that divine flow of money substance that continues to flow and expand and grow, and I know that it's good and very good. And I know that compensation comes in many forms, and I call them all good, with my heart overflowing with gratitude. Not only am I open to more compensation and more creativity, I am open to that creative source itself and guidance on the newness What is the newness that is awaiting me? I know that it's good and very good and only good. And I know that what I know for myself, I know for each and every one. I know that where the heart has been troubled or lonely, there is grace, there is comfort, there is guidance. With my heart just filled with gratitude for all that God is, I release this word to the action of law. I accept that it's complete, and so it is. And now, Allendale and friends.
Actually, Reverend Heather, we have a manly man trio for you.
Oh, okay, manly.
And we've got Wade, Rick, and Jimmy going to do a song called Love Lifted Me, which is just what we're all feeling for you right now.
This is a Judy Chapman song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I told her to bring her guitar. She said, boy, you're on your own today. So, here we go. From the motion picture, Bernie. Love lifted me, love lifted me. Oh, I was sad and feeling down, far from the peaceful shore. Kind of lonely, no one around, thinking I'd smile no more. Then my spirit heard my plea, my mournful cry. From the waters lifted me, now safe am I. Love lifted me, love lifted me, when nothing else could help. Now love lifted me, love lifted me. Love lifted me, love lifted me.
I'm sorry I was so loquacious. My goodness. Anyway, I said it all. Part 3 was all we needed, and then some. So I wrote it down, but it's not there. The gift, I wanted to just tell you about the gift because I didn't mention it. The gift came from an awareness that what I could do for each one of you is treat. So I wrote a treatment, and then I put it on some nice paper, and on the other side of the treatment, I wrote this poem that I love so much, I Carry Your Heart in My Heart by E.E. Cummings. So, and then I filled the bag, or put in the bag, expressions of love. Kisses, hugs, love notes, and they're all candies. So if you didn't get one, I've got tons more in my office. So if there aren't enough here for everyone to have a bag, I will make some more. Because even though I know some of you won't want the candy, I hope you'll take the treatment. It is my giving of myself. So I'm so grateful for all of you, for everyone in service today. And I'm going to so for all of the musicians, for the practitioners who are in service today, Aidan Greeny and Faith Mackey, and any of the practitioners here know who the third one is. Once more, I had it and I left that. And Cheryl Lyman. So stop by Coffee and Conversation, say hello. I'm going to do a quick sweep around here with my mask on when we're finished so I can make sure I've said hello to everybody, but I'm so grateful for you all. You are the ones that make a difference, so just give yourself a big hug. I know we can't hug other people, but you can hug yourself, so give yourself a big, big hug just right now, because wow. And it is time for our sharing of our gifts, our tithes, and so 2 things. I know you're all coming to the party on Friday night at 6, Zoom party. Kim has just done a fabulous job of organizing it, and it's going to be so much fun. So if you don't know about it, make sure you find out about it, and you can come. And that'll be great. And so this is the time in our service that we remind ourselves that God is our source and we give back. And you can actually, after we read this, you can find one of the baskets and put your offering in the basket, because the baskets will not be passed until we have a different physical condition. Well, or until I'm not minister. Who knows what will happen next week? Maybe it'll be free for all, but right now we are passing baskets. But it goes there. So let's read our prosperity affirmation together. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. So with great gratitude, it's time for our closing song, I believe. Do we have a whole bunch of people coming up?
We have a whole, so watch out. You don't want to get mowed over. We have a very special song that Karen, she was listening, and she heard in a meeting with you, Reverend Heather, that this is one of your favorite songs because of what the words say. So it's called How Could Anyone Ever Tell You You Were Anything Less Than Beautiful. So Heather, this is from everybody's heart, especially for you.
And can everyone stand up, please? And just hold your hands out like this and just shine love onto Heather at this moment as we sing this song together.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less you were anything less than beautiful. How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul.
You are connected to my soul forever. I love you. And so it is.
So